You are watching the NJSIAA on News 12 Varsity Game Time. Welcome to Toms River, New Jersey and Pine Belt Arena for the semifinals of the Tournament of Champions. The 3 seed is the non-public A champion, Don Bosco, taking on the number 2 seed, the Group 4 state champ, Linden. Don Bosco Prep at 29-1, riding a state best 20 game-winning streak for head coach Kevin DeVario in his 22nd season, over 400 career wins. Leading his alma mater, graduated Don Bosco in 1986. A player to watch comes off the bench, Matthew Harasmi, the junior, always providing energy and a spark, but last time out, in a win over number 6 Verona in the quarterfinals of the TOC, he also provided a scoring punch with 12 points. Linden got a bye into the semifinals at 26-4 for 20th year head coach Philip Colicchio, 416 wins, leading the Tigers. And a player to watch out for is Marcellus Livingston. He comes off the bench as well as a senior, but he's a reserve in name only. Off the opening tip, Linden in the white. That was Jones, who got near the rim but could not convert, as we are underway in the TOC semifinals. Linden in the white, Don Bosco in the maroon, trimmed with white. A matchup of Union County, Linden, Bergen County, Don Bosco. Linden made it to their county title game. Don Bosco, Bergen County champs, as part of their 29-1 season. It'll stay with the Tigers. Khalif Crawford on the bounce to Joey Krempa. And a look from the outside, Mikey Watts drills it. Not a member of the varsity last year, as the Linden Tigers won a quarterfinal and semifinal matchup to get to the TOC final, where they would eventually lose to undefeated St. Anthony of Union City. This is Ronald Harper drawing the foul. Kyrie Rogers charged the foul. Linden leads early 3-0 as Ronald Harper to the charity stripe. One of 7 different returners from last year's team that won the North Public A title, the North Non-Public A title, I should say, for the first time in 40 years. That group followed it up with their first state title since 1970, defeating St. Augustine Prep in a rematch of last year's title game. And then, as mentioned, a victory over Verona, the Group 1 champ, in the quarterfinals. 1-point game, minute 15 deep. Jones from the corner, watched early by Charlie Bagan. Kick out, Krempa, it's an air ball. Weak side rebound, Ronald Harper, as Don Bosco is packing the interior, something that Linden is known for. Earlington got rid of it in the nick of time. Ronald Harper, catch and shoot. A bit too strong. Out of bounds off of Linden. 2:15, 3-2 in favor of Linden. Bagan's pass too deep. Easy interception. Linden wants to run. Krempa straight away, in and out. Long rebound comes down to Linden. Rogers is denied. Good stuff by Harper. Here's Chris Paul, transition, a denial, but a follow by Earlington for two. Mikey Watkins, or excuse me, Rogers, who had his shot blocked offensively, had the trail block on the other end. But Earlington, a big man running the floor, makes it 4-3 Ironmen. We've played 3 minutes in this TOC semifinal. Khalif Crawford works it to the perimeter for Watkins. Crawford on the pull-up. Too strong. Harper across the timeline. Bagan pump fakes. And commits the charge. Linden's defense, a staple of the Tigers over the last 2 decades, as Philip Colicchio polished off state championship number 6 this year. Abraham Croma, along with Marcellus Livingston, checking into the game. 3 minutes and 20 seconds gone by. Sluggish offensive start for both teams. 2 straight, 3 out of the last 4 for Linden in terms of Group 4 state titles. The 1 year they didn't win the state championship in the run, they were Union County champs. Don Bosco getting out in transition, and Chris Paul is going to the line. What's interesting about Linden, during this run, they did not win the state championship in 2015. As mentioned, they won the Union County championship. And last year, in speaking with Philip Colicchio, the head coach, he thought that run to the Union County championship, when you have to face teams like Roselle Catholic and the Patrick School, who we will see in action as part of our boys doubleheader starting at 7 against Teaneck, it takes so much out of a team. Well, they got to the Union County final this year, lost to the Patrick School, and still won the state championship and got a 2 seed in the TOC, looking to seal the deal in their return trip to the Tournament of Champions. It shows the type of team and the type of depth and talent that Linden has to potentially be able to do it all. Beautiful find on the backdoor look. Tavon Jones athletically found by Crawford. 6'5" Ironmen holding on to a 1-point lead. Past the midway point of the first. Don Bosco Prep ranked 3rd in the Tri-State, Linden number 2, and that matches their seeds in this tournament. Don Bosco, a careless turnover against the suffocating Linden defense. .325 remaining first quarter. Abraham Croma is in to run the point. Jones with the headband spinning, and a hack from Paul as he came across the body to commit the foul. A wry smile on his face. Jones deemed to be in the act of shooting. Tavon Jones, 15 points in the Group 4 championship victory over Shawnee. It was a 57-41 victory at Rutgers. Nearly a year to the day in which Phil Colicchio won his 400th career game, if you count his 12 wins at Newark Barringer. This season, he went over the 400 career win mark at Linden alone. Jones with an early 4. Linden reclaims the lead 7-6. 3:05 remaining. Lovasolo, deep three. Harper on the offensive glass, stripped. Lost the handle, stays with it. One more time in the foul. So much about the preparation for facing Linden is intangible. Do you have not so much the skill or the ability? Both of those things important, no doubt. But do you have the toughness to play Linden? And that was part of the discussion and preparation for Don Bosco. Sure, we can break down their offense and their defense, but will our guys have the heart and the intensity and the mentality to face this Linden team? And so far, Ronald Harper and company, despite the empty trip at the foul line, showing they have what it takes to compete. Pretty move, Jones. The quickness to get to the rack, and Chris Paul just picked up his second foul. Absolutely dismayed on consecutive trips down the floor. It will summon Matthew Harasmi into the game as Jones makes 3 consecutive free throws. Paul and Lovasolo come out in favor of Matthew Harasmi and Manly Dorme. (8-6) in favor of Linden. 5 points scored by Tavon Jones. Extra pass, Bagan tees it up, too strong. Poor shooting both sides. Picked up by Jones on the run. Euro step from the outside. And a foul on the floor. Bagan called for the bump. That's his second. So Bagan and Paul, the starting backcourt for Don Bosco, each with 2 fouls in the first quarter. And a double dribble is called there against Watkins. Both sidelines packed, the baselines also filling in for a matchup between the number 2 and 3 seeds in the TOC. Harper, no. Dorme got his hands on it. So too did Earlington, eventually knocked out of bounds by the Tigers. Marcellus Livingston replaced in the lineup. The senior guard gets a quick libation and a talking to from Philip Colicchio. Michael Concannon has checked in for Don Bosco, playing with 3 reserves on the floor. And it's Earlington called for the charge. Wasn't sure initially if they might go for the travel and preserve the foul. Fifth team foul against Don Bosco with 2:01 remaining. First quarter, 8-6 Linden. The Tigers, Group 4 champs, once again trying to make a return trip to the TOC final in their 6th appearance in this tournament. Rodriguez, nice feed inside. Crawford got blocked. Earlington and Harper combining for the defensive play. So Don Bosco without their starting backcourt, trailing by 2 with 1:20 to go in the first quarter. Lovasolo, or Harasmi dribbling rather, and a foul committed there by Crawford. Two on Crawford. So a starting guard for Linden follows the trend of Bagan and Paul of Don Bosco to pick up a second foul here in the first quarter. Another pass too high. Concannon looking for a tough look, and a junior throws it away. Watkins returns to the lineup for Rodriguez. Liberal substitutions for Linden here in the first 7 minutes. Tigers have a 2-point lead. A 25-win season a year ago, a season in which Linden was ahead of schedule. Now this year, with just about 7 important players returning, they have handled expectations well to return at very least to the semifinals where they made it last year. "20 seconds to go. Linden in mode to hold for one. So Harasmi comes out to provide some token pressure. Down to 10 seconds to go, first quarter. Watkins against Concannon, pump fakes, Earlington there. It's Livingston straight away, no, and the first quarter is over. So a feeling out process between Linden and Don Bosco results in the Tigers holding a 2-point lead. 8-6 Linden, 1 quarter in the books from the Pine Belt Arena. This is the TOC semifinals on News 12 Varsity. Welcome back to Pine Belt Arena, Toms River, New Jersey. Josh Noble, our producer. I am humbly David Resnick, and Sean Riley providing us broadcast assistance. Pleased to bring you the TOC semifinal. First of 2 games on the boys' side after 2 games on the girls' side earlier today. Harper after the miss to tie it at 8. Championship tomorrow night in Trenton after the quarterfinals were delayed on Wednesday. This tournament was intended to be Wednesday, Friday, Monday. It turned into Friday, Sunday, Monday. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night for the TOC final. Linden in the white. This is Jones launching from 3. Had 5 points in the first quarter to lead all scorers. Each team led in the first quarter. Earlington, deep 3. Both teams struggling from any type of distance beyond the paint. So Jones attacks the rim. Out of bounds off of Don Bosco. An appearance for Derek Lewis, the senior forward, into the game. Bounce pass inside, slicing in is Rogers. Perfectly executed for a 10-8 lead. 6:30 to go until halftime. Earlington passing out of the post. It's intercepted by Watkins. Poked from behind, Concannon. Good recovery play defensively. So Concannon and Harasmi, Harper, Earlington, and Dorme, with Paul and Bagan sitting, each with 2 fouls picked up in the first quarter. Those two, the starting backcourt, which means the junior Concannon, being harassed here by Watkins, has an even greater responsibility today. Dorme facing up against Lewis. Now it's Harper slicing in, no. Gets his own miss. It's rejected by Rogers. Concannon off the pump fake, too strong. Offensive rebound, Earlington. This is an Earlington and Harper game so far for Don Bosco. Each with 4 points. Ironmen tie it at 10. Jones throws it away, looking for Lewis. Now Concannon running. He's denied. Dorme, offensive rebound and fouled. The best shot for Don Bosco is the first one that doesn't go in. Their offensive rebounding has been tremendous as Dorme joins the party along with Earlington and Harper. Foul was on Derek Lewis. Dorme misses the free throw. Marcellus Livingston back into the lineup. His older brother, Otis, sophomore at George Mason, won a state title in 2014 with Linden, 2015 Union County champs. And while I think his brother's pretty famous, I also think his father is pretty famous too. Another Otis Livingston, the CBS 2 sportscaster who I happen to walk through the arena doors with, so I know he's in attendance. He had a hat on, which means he doesn't want to be bothered, and just to blend in with the rest of the parents. Makes sense. Dorme breaks a 10-all tie. Backdoor, Jones. That was Krempa with the pretty backhanded feed to put the Tigers back in front, 12-11. Inside of 5 minutes to play, first half. Tavon Jones with 7 and a steal. Krempa, deep three, got it! Bring it up for Joey Krempa. Largest lead of the afternoon, 15-11. Tigers with 5 straight. And a hold called. Last season, when Tavon Jones, as a sophomore, was trusted by his teammates to be the offensive leader, that's when the season, which was already pretty solid, really took off. And that's where Linden was able to make even greater strides. And certainly now, no problem relying on Jones to lead the way as Luis Rodriguez re-enters for Linden. Charlie Bagan has come back even with his 2 fouls for Don Bosco. And Chris Lovasolo checks back in. He's 6'9", replacing the 6'7" Dorme, but a bit more of an outside game, as this is Lovasolo, catch and shoot, no. Good rebound by Livingston. The outlet, Jones spinning, +1, Tavon Jones. (17-11), 4:10 remaining. Linden scoring 7 straight. Livingston with the beautiful outlet pass grabs the offensive rebound. He high-stepped on the baseline looking for a pass that did not come. Past the midway point. Second quarter. Jones with 9 in the half. Krempa firing 3. Off the iron and backboard, kept alive, but knocked out of bounds. So Don Bosco sensing danger, already sending Charlie Bagan back into the game, and now Chris Paul returns as well. So the starting backcourt, each with 2 fouls. Kevin DeVario says this can't get any worse. We need our seniors back into the game. Paul driving, dishes, Harper. Dangerous contact as Paul knocked over a defender on the way to the hoop. And if you say officials don't know foul situations, that play would be your argument against that thought. Livingston, catch and shoot, no good. Earlington grips it hard as Rodriguez reached in. Now it's Harper spinning, pretty move to the tin. Ronald Harper. 8 first half points. Ironmen have scored 4 straight since Paul returned to the lineup. And it's just a 2-point game, 17-15. 2:35 remaining first half. Don Bosco showing toughness to answer that 7-0 run. Livingston, baseline drive. Rodriguez camping out at 3, no good. Livingston making the little plays, but can't convert. Jones bangs it off the backboard. Lovasolo says it's mine. Approaching the 2-minute mark of the first half. Catch and shoot, Harper, short. Battle for the loose ball taken by Linden, up ahead Rodriguez. Into the body of Paul, and he can't commit that third foul. The junior Luis Rodriguez has his first field goal for a 4-point Linden lead. Paul on the drive, help defense is there, doesn't matter. Banking in the layup on the move to once again making it a 2-point game. 1:35 remaining. Don Bosco did what it need to, and Concannon and Harasmi along with Dorme ready to check in at the next dead ball. Earlington called for the bump. That's his second. So the key now for Don Bosco, can you get to halftime without Bagan, Paul, or Earlington picking up that third foul? We know for sure that it won't happen to Bagan and Paul. They just checked out. Interesting play here by Kevin DeVario to leave Earlington in the game. And I think one of his assistants is coming over to let him know of the foul situation for Marcellus. Tavon Jones adds a point to his first half total, as that was Don Bosco's 7th team foul, so Jones hitting the front end of a 1-and-1. Only player so far in double figures in the first half. $1:15 to go. How much time does Don Bosco want to shrink off this clock? Harper sells the contact, doesn't get a call. It's Earlington on the offensive glass again, getting the whistle. Foul committed by Mikey Watkins. Marcellus Earlington averaging 16 points per game. A breakout football season at defensive ends to add to his already impressive sophomore and now junior seasons on the hardwood. Earlington's got 6, makes it a 1-point game. Manly Dorme, offense-defense substitution. Minute to go. How much time does Linden take off the clock? Watkins slicing in. Big step through the paint. Lovasolo the rebound. Concannon pushes the action. Lazy pass Concannon. Harper steals it back. Concannon driving and the kick out to Harper. Timeout taken, Kevin DeVario. (20-19) the score. Linden has the lead. 26 seconds to go, and now an obvious situation for Don Bosco to play for one. Typically, the seedings favor the non-public schools based off of the resumes that they have, both in terms of their path to championships and the difficult regular season slates that they play. But Linden rewarded for their 26-4 season with the number 2 seed. It's not unprecedented. Back in 2007, they were the number 1 seed as they make their 6th appearance in the TOC. And in the previous 5, back in 06 and last year in 2016, making the finals. What's interesting is both those years, they made the finals out of the quarterfinals. The one year as the number 1 seed. Here's Harper for 3, no. Weak side, Earlington follows his own miss and fouled. Point blank opportunities for Earlington, and he'll go to the line. So back to the point on Linden. They were the number 1 seed in 2007, and they lost in the semifinals after the bye. And their only 2 final appearances came when they were seeded below number 2 and had to win a pair of games to get to the finals. Earlington ties it at 20. Wonder if another made free throw for Earlington, and he'll be out of the game. Don Bosco cannot take the lead. We're tied at 20. Their last advantage was 11-10, and then the Tigers went on a 7-0 run. 9-3 finish to the quarter as of now. Jones spinning, blocked. Harazmi at the end of the half comes up with a big defensive play, and we go into the locker room deadlocked. Exactly how you would expect a 2-3 game to go. Linden, the Group 4 champs, Don Bosco Prep, the non-public A winners. And through 16 minutes of play at Pine Belt Arena, we are tied at 20. This is the TOC semifinals on News 12 Varsity. Start of the second half between Linden and Don Bosco Prep. We are tied at 20 as we welcome you back to Pine Belt Arena. Linden in the white, earning first possession of the second half, and Tavon Jones adding to his game high 10 in the first half, now with 12. 4 ties, 4 lead changes in the first half. Jones with 12, leading the way for Linden as Earlington can't finish. Paul is after the offensive rebound. His attempt is no good, and Jones on the run out. With Krempa, Harper has the block. Linden comes up with it. Josh Noble, our producer. And a foul against Jones, who knocked down Earlington. And the benefit of 3 officials is that things like that aren't missed. Excuse me, foul was called on Kyrie Rogers, beg your pardon. And Ron Harper the other way. He's got 10, but shot just 3 of 12 in the first half. Marcellus Livingston fouled. Committed by Harper, which is his second. Livingston played over 10 minutes in the first half off the bench for Phil Colicchio. Did not score in the first half, as both teams shot under 31% from the field. 24-22, Linden leads. Their largest of the first was 6. Don Bosco led by as many as 3 points. Harper, catch and shoot. Still Ofer from the outside. Earlington has the rebound and stick back. Deadlocked at 24, our 5th tie of the game. Back and forth we go. Josh Noble, our producer. I'm David Resnick. Sean Riley is providing broadcast assistance. Thanks so much for joining us on News 12 Varsity and also NJ.com. Bagan taps it to himself. Without numbers, can't finish. Harper, no. Earlington one more time and a foul. So Don Bosco playing volleyball on the offensive glass. And at some point, all these rebounds are great. And although they're contested, these are opportunities that need to be finished. Because then you go to the line and anything's possible. Empty trip for Earlington. Jones with 12 of the 24 for Linden as we're tied. 5:25 remaining, third quarter. Watkins gets around Bagan and draws the foul. Chris Lovasolo is charged the personal. Kevin DeVario doesn't agree. For the second straight year, Linden perfect against New Jersey Publics. Don Bosco, obviously a non-public. The winner of this game will move on to face either the Patrick School, the #1 seed and the #1 team in our tri-state rankings, or Teaneck, the #4 seed, advancing after an overtime quarterfinal win against Newark Westside. 25-24. Earlington tees it up. Got it. It's a triple for Marcellus Earlington. 27-25, Don Bosco leads. 4:35 remaining, third quarter. Earlington with 12, supported by Harper with 10. And Ron's been on the floor for every single second of this contest. Here's the leading scorer for Linden. Jones off the screen, explodes into the paint. It's off the rim. Earlington, same spot, left it short. Tapped around, and Lovasolo is called for the foul as Jones tried to go around him. Second foul picked up by Lovasolo in this third quarter as Don Bosco is into the TOC for the first time ever. Their last state championship prior to this season, which was their fourth, came back in 1970, a year after they made it to the state championship game for the first time in 40 years. Krempa, another big three. He's got 2 triples today. Lead is back to Linden. Sixth state championship for Linden, all in the TOC era. Earlington, got it. Another three for Marcellus Earlington, the 6'5" forward, stepping out and showing range. Lead changes one more time with a 30-28 lead for Don Bosco. Harper rebounds the Krempa miss. Paul up the floor. Lovasolo is open. Jones called for the loose ball foul. Rebounding defensively has been an issue for Linden. Earlington at 6'5", Harper at 6'5", and a foul on the shot attempt by Paul. Lovasolo 6'9", even Dorme off the bench at 6'7". Tavon Jones commits his second foul. Chris Paul, who needed to be managed in the first half because of the foul trouble he was in, has not picked up his third here in the third quarter. Krempa out, Chroma in, who played sparingly in the first half. Ironmen up by 3, matching their largest lead of the game. 31-28, 2:30 to go in the third. Lovasolo got in the way of the drive, and that's his third foul picked up in the third. So despite all of that foul trouble that we described, it's Lovasolo who had 0 fouls at the break, the first one for Don Bosco to 3. Rogers has 3 fouls for Linden and sits. Chroma out of the corner. Now it's Watkins throwing it away. Three-point lead, Don Bosco. Earlington wants it inside. In a battle of Marcellus's, it's Earlington who powers his way through Livingston. 17 points for Marcellus Earlington, 10 this quarter. Largest lead of the night at 33-28. Earlington the rebound. Leads Harper up the floor. He catches up to it. That got the attention of the crowd, just didn't lead anywhere. Harper gets it back in the paint, soft rolling in, timeout Linden. Don Bosco up 35-28, largest lead of the night. 7-point advantage with 1:25 to go, third quarter. Full timeout Tigers. Out of the timeout, another turnover. Crawford looking back door. Harper off the top of the backboard and down to Jones, and he lost it out of bounds. TOC dates back to 1989, the 29th edition of determining the best boys basketball team in the state of New Jersey. 35-28, Don Bosco, and a reach-in foul called against Luis Rodriguez. 49 seconds even. 15 foul against Linden, 4 against Don Bosco. All these close games usually come down to free throws at the end. Earlington inside, turns to the basket and scores. He got position, the help was late. It's a 9-point Don Bosco lead. Earlington exploding for 12 points this quarter. Jones tries to stabilize for Linden. Count the basket and the foul, Tavon Jones. His first basket in a long time, and that's the third foul against Chris Paul. That ends a sizable Don Bosco run, and Jones completes the three-point play. He's got 15, just shy of a season average. Full court pressure, Linden. Should be the final possession for Don Bosco, but they threw it away. Livingston the steal. Bagan gets it right back, but he kicked it. So defense substitution here with Harasmi and Dorme coming in, along with Victor Kanopka. So Earlington, who has 2 fouls, and then Paul and Lovasolo that picked up 3 fouls in the third quarter, each out of the game. 8 seconds to go. Krempa working with Watkins. Watkins, three-pointer, good! Mikey Watkins with a three-pointer at the end of the third quarter. And what was a 9-point deficit has been trimmed to just 3. 6-0 run for the Tigers to end the third, setting up what should be a thrilling final quarter. 37-34, the 3 seed Don Bosco with the lead after 3 over second-seeded Linden. You're watching the Tournament of Champions semifinal on News 12 Varsity. Starting the fourth quarter as we welcome you back to Pine Belt Arena. 29th edition of the Tournament of Champions. Don Bosco in the maroon leads by 3. They had a 9-point advantage, evaporated with a 6-0 run. It's deflected and stays with the Ironmen. Bagan into Earlington, spins in the paint, and a whistle. Earlington with 12 third quarter points. He's heading to the line after the personal charged against Khalif Crawford. Don Bosco made its run in the third quarter to take the lead because of the play of Marcellus Earlington, who now has 20 points. Paul tries to keep it alive. Crawford is swarmed. Earlington, beautiful feed. Paul, +1. Don Bosco has made a living on the offensive glass. Paul can't convert on the three-point play. 40-34, first minute of the fourth. Don Bosco has the lead despite not making a field goal in the first quarter. It was that type of start really for both teams as Don Bosco trailed 8-6 after one. Ronald Harper driving and a foul. The eighth now against the team, so Harper shooting 1-1. And Khalif Crawford just picked up his fourth foul. Timeout, Kevin DeVario and Don Bosco. It's a full timeout taken by Don Bosco with 7:13 remaining in regulation and a 40-34 lead over Linden. Out of the timeout, 1-1 for Ronald Harper. His father of the same name, five-time NBA champ. Harper, a junior and part of that 7-player cast, all returning from last season. They got a taste of success, and this year they have built upon it. When I spoke with Kevin DeVario at the beginning of the year, he wasn't quite sure how it would all come together. Well, 29 wins later, and a lead in the fourth quarter of the TOC semifinals, I'd say it has come together quite nicely. Tough shot off the crossover. Jones can't connect. And Manly Dorme, a rebound in traffic. Hagan across the timeline. Watkins closely guarding. Six and a half to go. No shot clock. Don Bosco deliberate. Three, Harper short. It was altered by Chroma, and as Krempa went to save it, he lost it out of play. State best 20-game winning streak for Don Bosco. Only loss of the season to rival Bergen Catholic. But they won 3 out of 4 against the Crusaders, including in the Bergen County Jamboree and the North non-public A final. Harper stuck, unloads at Earlington, close to a 5 count. Inside Dorme. Linden collapsing, Dorme off glass, no. It provides an opening for Earlington. Marcellus Earlington with 22 points and a 10-point lead for Don Bosco with 5:50 remaining in the fourth. Deep three, no. Smacked by Harper. That long wingspan corralled it in the air. 5:30 to go. Phil Colicchio has only called one timeout to stop a run. Knocked out of Harper's hands with good defense from Chroma, the senior. So clearly Don Bosco playing deliberately. Wouldn't quite call it a stall, but they're certainly not attacking the basket. Give and go, broken up. Numbers the other way. Bounced into Krempa, and he got pushed by Harper. Third foul against Harper. And Harper was hurt there by the fact that Krempa did not go up with the shot. He continued his drive towards the baseline as Joey rips a three. Krempa's got 3 triples. Timeout Linden. It's a 7-point game with 5:09 remaining. Full timeout taken by the Tigers. Excuse me, they've just changed it to a 30. 44-37, the lead for Don Bosco. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining and 5:09 on the clock. 18 fouls against Linden, 6 against Don Bosco, so both teams will be shooting throughout. Linden with victories this season over Roselle Catholic, the Patrick School, playing in a very difficult Union County League, and despite its status as a public school, competes with all of the top teams in the entire state. These teams sharing a lot of similarities in terms of the veterans they have on their roster. Linden, full court pressure, broken strategically by Don Bosco. Bagan wants to give it back to Paul, and he was disrupted. The other way, Jones is fouled. Behind the play, Chris Paul, I believe, as my attention was going towards the ball as well, after he had lost it, he got tangled up with a Tiger who provided a little extra shove. But we turn our attention back to the free throw line after the 3rd foul committed by Earlington. 1 and 1, missed by Jones. Full court pressure, Linden. Harper aggressive. Blocking foul. Croma tried to stand his ground and take the charge. But Don Bosco has been at its best when it's attacking the rim and getting to the offensive glass. Back to an 8-point game, 45-37, 4:41 remaining. One of 2. Paul inside position. He got the offensive rebound despite not being on the block. Just outworking the Tigers. We asked the question in the first quarter, would Don Bosco be tough enough to play against Linden? That was part of the speech and the keys from the Don Bosco coaching staff, toughness. We thought the answer was yes in the first quarter. It is a resounding yes here in the 4th. Foul against Rogers, his 4th. 10th team foul against Linden. Earlington shooting 2. In the foreground, Kevin DeVario and the coaching staff with a discussion of the 4 other Don Bosco players on the floor not shooting free throw. Earlington's got 23. This is after 19 and 10 in the quarterfinals. That Don Bosco with the 3 seed was forced to face the Group 1 champ in Verona. It was close, but in their first TOC, they came up with a win. Under 4 to play, 9-point game in Don Bosco's favor. Krempa slicing in on the bounce to Livingston. Now it's Jones attacking into the body of Earlington, and that's Marcellus's 4th foul. He's been the game's best player. Do you take him out? because you know Linden, the Group 4 champ, is going to continue to attack. Front of the rim and in for Jones. Second team All New Jersey as a sophomore, in line for similar type honors, if not better, for the way that he has scored and led Linden to 26 wins this season. 1 of 2. Another rebound for Earlington. Another double-double in the TOC. Earlington to Dorme. Had it blocked. Stayed with it and laid it in. It must have come out of Dorme's hands, or else it would have been a travel. Attack to the paint, and a ticky-tack foul to disrupt the layup attempt from Chroma. A foul by Harper. That's his 4th. So both Earlington and Harper with 4 fouls each. Kevin DeVario hasn't even looked to the bench for a sub. The great thing about this Don Bosco team, they are looked at as having 7 starters, and you're never quite sure which one is going to lead the way. It was Matthew Harasmi with 12 points off the bench, the catalyst to the victory over Verona. Today, Harper and Earlington, 2 of the top 3 leading scorers on the season, delivering today. Here's Earlington, open for 3. No good. Long rebound and a 10-point game to Jones. Driving against Bagans. Jones hangs and hits. Transition bucket for Tavon Jones. Just an 8-point game with 2:45 to go. Harper out to Earlington. And now it's Dorme. Dorme creating space, blocked by Jones. Don Bosco has played for the last 4 minutes or so in this holding pattern where they're trying not to attack, but it has gotten them out of their offensive rhythm, and it has showed. Don Bosco with possession, calling timeout. A full timeout with 2:31 to go. 48-40, Ironmen lead. Out of the Don Bosco timeout, 2:30 remaining and a 3-possession game. Foul committed by Krempa, the hold. And now we'll have offense-defense substitutions here as Krempa picks up his first, sending Manly Dorme to the line. Double bonus for Don Bosco Prep. The Bergen County Jamboree winners and the non-public A state champs. Line drive shot is no good. Livingston and Crawford return. One of 2 for Dorme, taking his time at the line. It's a 9-point lead, 49-40. Jones into Paul, shot on the floor, called immediately, and that's the 4th foul against Chris Paul. Paul, Earlington, Harper, all with 4 fouls. 10th team foul against the Ironmen. So Jones is shooting 2. Would have had a chance at a 3-point play if continuation was allowed. Much stricter interpretation of that rule at this level compared to what you would see at the college or professional level. Frankly, it's much purer of a definition of continuation. As Jones makes 1 of 2, up to 19 points. No fouls to give either side and timeouts remaining for both teams. 2:16 to go, 49-41. The Patrick School and Teaneck to come, scheduled for a 7 o'clock start. You can watch it live right here on News 12 Varsity. And the winners of tonight's games face off tomorrow, 8:15 from Trenton. Harper, Earlington, Paul each have 4 fouls. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Don Bosco's been stalling for about 4 minutes. Chris Paul fouled. Don Bosco is at the stage of this game where if they can hit free throws, they win. But they have not proven that they can do it with great regularity. Chris Paul trying to change that. More offense, defense for Linden. Linden trying to get back to the spot in which they were last year before falling to St. Anthony. Don Bosco trying to reach their first ever TOC final in their first appearance in this tournament. Jones slashing in, +1. Who is it against? Earlington is done. Huge moment in 2 respects. Earlington trying to plead his case that the foul should be against Charlie Bagan, but that is the 5th foul against Marcellus Earlington. And that is huge. Both because Jones put in the layup and also because Earlington is done and his 23 points will have to watch from the side. Potentially enormous moment with 1:55 to go. Kevin DeVario kept him in the game after picking up his 4th foul at 3:47. So he lasted about another minute and 50 seconds as Don Bosco has maintained its lead. 3-point play completed for Tavon Jones. 51-44. Harass-me harassed. Up to Paul, and Don Bosco in no hurry to even look at the rim. Now Paul does. Had an opportunity at the reverse layup. That was way too strong. The foul committed by Watkins, his 3rd, and Chris Paul, who just made a pair of free throws, is back to the line for 2 more. Again, if Don Bosco can hit free throws, this game should be theirs. But now they have to do it without Earlington. Four straight for Chris Paul. 6 points in the 4th. Deep three, Crawford off the iron. Harper corrals the rebound. Erasmi waits for the pressure, unloads it to Bagan, and Paul is fouled again. And after 4 straight, makes at the free throw line. That is not the guy from Linden's perspective you want to send back to the stripe. So Don Bosco continues to manage the game. Paul is short. He's got one more coming. Now the crowd for this game, joined by the crowd for the Patrick School and T-Neck contest for a near capacity Pine Belt Arena. 12 points for Paul. Here's Jones, lost the handle. Erasmi bumped down to the ground. Picked up Livingston. Jones spinning, lost his footing, no call, and it's out of bounds to Don Bosco. Lots of contact on that sequence. And nothing Phil Colicchio can do other than make his substitutions. A lot happened there, and nothing was accounted for. Into Bagan and a foul. Rodriguez quickly, and Charlie Bagan, who is so clutch down the stretch in the non-public A final against St. Augustine, is heading back to the line. Would be fitting that if he could combine with Chris Paul to seal this game after the way they had to come out early with foul trouble. Also, as the only 2-year starters from last year to this season, 1 of 2 for Bagan. First point of the game. Lead is 11, 55-44, approaching a minute to go. Linden needs 3s, but they'll go inside. Livingston, that's a beautiful finish. A bullet was thrown to the rim, and Marcellus Livingston athletically puts it in. Timeout with 60 seconds to go. Tigers call it. Each team down to 2 timeouts remaining. If it wasn't for a 6-0 run for Linden to close the third quarter, this game would be even more out of hand. What that really equates to is hard to say because sports don't work that way. But Don Bosco is outscoring Linden 35-26 in the second half after a tie score at 20 into the break. They used a 15-8 run in the third quarter and now outscoring Linden 18-12 here in the fourth. Krempa fouls Harper. 2.6 seconds came off the clock. The crowd seemed more upset than Phil Colicchio, the Linden head coach. Believed they were contending that Bagan caught the ball out of bounds. Harper makes the first of 2. Don Bosco in the double bonus. 16 points for Ronald Harper, the 6'5" junior. Has now scored in double figures in 5 of 6 state playoff games. He makes both. 11-point lead for Don Bosco. Livingston, corner 3, yes! The senior will not go away quietly. 5 straight scored for Linden, as Livingston has the last 2 buckets to once again make it an 8-point game. Phil Colicchio calling timeout with 49 seconds to go. 57-49, Don Bosco. Harper gets it in, Harazmi, Krempa around his waist. So it's Matthew Harazmi, the hero of the quarterfinal victory for Don Bosco. It's the beauty of the Ironmen. Don Bosco on the verge of victory with Harazmi, the star of the quarterfinals, scoring just his first point, but a crucial one at that, as it comes with 48 seconds to go. Harazmi makes both. Pressure free throws by the junior. 3/4 of a minute to go. Livingston wants 3. Give him 3. Marcellus Livingston now has 8 in a row for Linden. And Phil Colicchio burns his final timeout. But because Don Bosco has made its free throws down the stretch, it's 2 field goals traded for a 3-pointer, and the Tigers running out of time and possessions. 59-52, 39 seconds to go in the TOC semifinal. Linden out on the floor first. Their huddle was brief. Great fan support by Linden. Surprised that Don Bosco didn't bring the fan support in the form of their students. Krempa called for the foul. Bagan going to the line. But it appears Don Bosco will have an opportunity to cheer on the Ironmen tomorrow night. 39 seconds away from heading to the TOC final in their first appearance in this championship. Their last state title prior to this season, as Bagan makes the free throw back in 1970, was 19 years before the creation of the TOC. They avenged a loss last year to St. Augustine in the non-public A final. Jones driving, blocked Harper, out of bounds. Linden last year in this 2-3 matchup upset the Hermits of St. Augustine Prep. Now as the 2 seed, they're 31 seconds away from being upset by the non-public A champs. Crawford fouled shooting a 3. He was fouled by Chris Paul, who is now out of the game. Chance for Don Bosco to regroup before putting the sub back in. So Paul has fouled out. Erlington fouled out at the 1:55 mark, which is only a minute 30 in game action, but feels like last week. right around the time where Don Bosco was polishing off that non-public A championship. Khalif Crawford is shooting 3 times. In what is now an 8-point game. Crawford, after 15 points in the Group 4 title game. These are his first 2 of tonight's contest. Crawford perfects. Sliced off 3 points from the deficit without moving the clock. So a 6-point game, just a 2-possession game, 25 seconds to go. Ron Harper called for time. Still had time to get it in. But even a 5 count doesn't feel quite as large in this type of environment. 61-55, 25.5 ticks to go with Don Bosco with the lead in the 4th quarter. Harper again to trigger it in. The junior Concannon takes it. Erasmi taken down to the hardwood looking for a call. And here is the junior, Michael Concannon. He has yet to score. He is shooting 2. Pressed into extended action because of the foul trouble experienced by Charlie Bagan and Chris Paul. That is clutch. We have a backup guard stepping up to the line in the biggest basketball moments, presumably, of his young hardwood career. Although most of these guys have great stories from elementary school or whatnot. He makes both. 63-55, 20 seconds to go, and a foul called. Watkins attacking the rim. That's against Bagan. It's amazing that after 2 fouls in the 1st quarter, that is just his 3rd overall. Perfect trip for Watkins, and Linden continues to extend the game. Foul is called. The officials could only allow so much to transpire without calling for a hold. Lots of grabbing, as if this was an offensive line in the trenches. In and out for Bagan. Bagan misses both, but poked it, and a foul. A reach-in foul was called, and that is a huge decision. If that was clean, Bagan gets the ball back with 19 seconds to go. Difference of 6. And cool Joey Krempa makes the first of 2. Linden out of timeouts. One of 2. Dorme, a huge rebound. And finally, a foul called with 16 seconds left. Dorme short. 5-point game, 63-58, just 2 possessions. Linden out of timeouts. 1 of 2 for Dorme. 6-point game. Watkins, no. Dorme the rebound. Harasmi holds and takes the foul with 7.7 seconds to go. Game still not firmly secured. Harasmi, good at the line earlier this quarter, can make 1 and push it to a 3-possession game. Erlington fouled out. Paul fouled out. Huge free throw here for Harasmi. No timeouts left for Linden, so really they only have 1 possession left. Harasmi makes it a 3-possession game, and that should seal it. Livingston, a 3, no good. Battle for the rebound. 0.8 on the clock to Don Bosco. And finally, their support can exhale. Don Bosco has come to Toms River and knocked off Linden. 65-58. The 3rd-seeded Ironmen take down the 2nd-seeded Tigers, and Don Bosco Prep is moving on to the TOC final. 65-58. An upset victory for the non-public A champs. In their first ever TOC, they are moving on to the championship game. They will face either Teaneck or St. Patrick, or the Patrick School, I should say. And if you're joining us live, that game is coming up next. 65-58, Don Bosco takes down Linden in the TOC semifinals. 65-58 the final. Don Bosco takes down Linden in the TOC semifinals. Marcellus Erlington, the leading scorer for Don Bosco, joining us post-game. Your coaching staff said you needed toughness to win this game. Forget about the X's and O's. You guys have the talent. You needed the toughness. How did you bring the toughness today?
We really brought it today. You know, we had a mismatch problem inside, so we had to pound the ball inside. We got good shots inside. If we didn't get a good bucket, we got fouled. So we played well. We executed our game plan, and we came out with a good outcome.
At what point in this game did you know that you'd be able to hang with them?
The whole game. You know, they're fast, they're quick. But we know they have an advantage, we have an advantage. And if we use our advantage better, we come out with a good outcome, and that's what we did just now.
Spoke with your coach at the beginning of the season. He didn't know what you guys would be. He knew you had a lot of returners. He knew that you guys had the desire to get back to where you were and even beyond. How has it all come together during a 21-game winning streak?
We had a heartbroken loss last year. We huddled up the game on the day after that. We said, Brandon said, you guys go get it. Brandon and Omar, our captains from last year, they said, you guys got to go get it. Shocked the world. And since then, whether it's practice or a summer workout, we got after it. We got after each other. We made each other better. And that's what it was all about. And then we came out, we was the underdogs in a lot of our games. We knew that we had nothing to lose. Come out, play hard, came out, play like we usually do. We'll come out good, and that's what we did today.
For the final 155, we were both watching the game. You had a better seat than I did. What was it like after fouling out?
The longest 155 I've ever went through, played ever in my life. So it felt like 30 minutes to me. And
it almost was.
Almost was. We're very deep. So I know when I come out, I can trust my teammates. They've been doing it all year. I know I've been getting fouled out in a couple of games. They come in, they get the part of the spark off the bench. Manly, Matt, everybody. So I'm very proud of them. I love my team, and we're going to try to get this TOC championship.
Don Bosco football is used to playing on the final day of the season. Now Don Bosco basketball is playing on the final day of the season. How does that sound?
Program tracing. We're known as a football school, of course. So we wanted to reinnovate the basketball program. And we did that today. We came out tough, we came out good, and just kept working hard. We just kept pushing. We kept pounding the ball inside. We did everything right today. That's what God said, win.
Marcellus, rest up. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So Marcellus Earlington and company in what he has called a program-changing win is moving on to the TOC championship. A victory over Linden, and the number 3 seed is going on to the title game, taking down the number 2 seed. For our producer, Josh Noble, I'm David Resnick. Thanks so much for joining us on News 12 Varsity Game Time.